My next guest notes that the positive strides the market is making, despite an incredible number of headwinds. I'm going to bring in now Market Gauge Managing Director Michelle Snyder. All right, Michelle, you do point out in your note the economy will stagnate, right? And you say there's some areas we should be paying attention to. You're watching small caps, retail, transportation. Interesting, we get that big retail number next week. What is it about these as proxies or gauges for the economy we should know?
Well, from a fundamental standpoint, and by the way, hi, Charles, it's very important to watch those areas because they measure the U.S.-centric economy as opposed to the global economy or companies that have a global presence. Obviously, small caps, that's within here, the United States. So if we're going in towards a trend, regardless of who wins the election, of more domestic production, that will reflect in the small caps. And the retail, of course, is consumer. That's really all about it. And then, of course, transportation, if you take out Uber, these are all really important from a fundamental standpoint. From a technical standpoint, the most thrilling thing is if you look at a chart at XRT, right, Charles, it has consolidated in a $10 price range for 10 months. That's like a channel from Mars. I mean, you don't see things like that too often. So what does that tell you, right? When that breaks, if it breaks, regardless of where it breaks, sure, you've got to follow. Sure. And if it gets through 80, just jump in.
I love your excitement over the consolidation of a 10-week chart. I've never seen it before from anyone else. I thought I got excited about stuff like that. Hey, let's run through some of this stuff because you've got some macro stuff. You also talk about the greater views. We don't have time to go into all of these, but two that caught my eye, and I guess they're sort of related. Obviously, weather because of these major storms that we just had, the hurricanes, and unsustainable insurance costs, whether it's home, auto, they just never stop going up.
Well, yeah, and so I think the easiest way to really look at that, again, going back to consumer, and by the way, it's 10 months, not 10 weeks, is how well they can adapt to these rising insurance costs and what happens to them in terms of spending money and where they spend money. That's number one. Number two is you really have to look at the commodities prices and particularly the metals prices and see what they're reflecting in terms of the sustainability of these rising costs. And of course, China jumping in is only going to be potentially more inflationary because they need a lot of raw materials. Right. So that's why we constantly have our eyes on gold and silver. I mean, it's been my most consistent topic for 3 years now.
It has. And it's rocking. And it's rocking. I got to give you credit. Hey, let's find out some new ideas, though, that might also start to rock. Now, you shared some stocks with us. I don't think we have time to go over all of them, but I do want to ask you about specifically ELF. I have subscribers in ELF. We're down about 30%. I did see this Piper Sandler survey, though. It's still extraordinarily popular amongst teens. Why do you like ELF here?
Well, a lot of the bad news for ELF is already in the market.
I hope so.
It's had a dramatic fall. I mean, it was like, what, 220 not too long ago, and it got down to 100. We got in at 105 for our clients because, first of all, it looks like it's bottoming. But secondly, yes, maybe their 2025 outlook isn't as great as it was in 2024, but it's still a 21 to 27% growth projection. And it is a global skincare brand and makeup brand that covers all complexions, if you will.
Yeah, no.
So I
love it. I mean, listen, I'm like I said, I'm down 30%, and so I'm thrilled to see that you like it. I was happy to see that teenagers still like it. Now we just need to see it come to the bottom line. It's been far too long, Michelle. Great stuff, and you have made us a lot of money, particularly in golds. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too, Charles.